Welcome to KCIW 100.7, all you wonderful listeners who tune in either to the 100.7 or the KCIW.org site here in Brookings, Oregon. As we normally do, every week, I'll teach my volunteer here, who's sitting right across the plexiglass. I shouldn't say volunteer because he's just a dynamo person in my life. So we're going to do a little quote that started with Carol and I years ago. Okay. And I say, it's a brand new day. And you say, never been lived before. Listeners ready? You get to tune in and participate as well. Here we go. It's a brand new day.
Never been lived before.
Woohoo! I love it. I love it. So welcome, everybody, to Joyously Free with none better than me, Joanie Lindenmeyer, our Brookings Harbor resident for the last 34 years and also a best-selling author. My KCIW Radio Gadio show is a show that talks about LGBTQ+ stories and tips, along with religion, church, faith, and spirituality. Simply put, it's about love and joy, freedom, courage, confidence, and collaboration. I'm so blessed to be the communicator to help you, listeners, enjoy so many different topics from our local people. The purpose of our show, of course, is to spread the joy and freedom, and it came from one of my 3 books called Joyously Free. It's also one of the books that the speaker today, our guest today, is in one of the books called Healing Religious Hurts. And so it's an honor and a privilege to have this person with us today. Of course, we know that we start with a prayer, and we always believe that hope and the divinity of Jesus or God or whatever name you put on that higher being is always with you and always with me. So we never have to be troubled. We never have to be afraid or saddened. That joy and peace are an internal expression of love and harmony that is already deep within us, and all we have to do is reach down and touch it and share it. As usual, no hate speech, no hate behaviors, and no bullying. Our show is courage, confidence, collaboration, and love. Of course, we seek to understand each other, and we seek to understand how we can respect and appreciate nature, friends, family, and our loving, kind community right here on the Southern Oregon and Northern California coasts. Let's have a happy day. So, as we start everything with prayer, let's close our eyes, center ourselves, realizing that we can shed light on our community and our world. Let's take a deep breath in with the good and out with doubt. Again, centering ourselves from the top of our head to the bottom of our foot. Breathe in through your nose with hope and out from your mouth with fears. Let's take one last deep breath. In with joy and out with worry or despair. Hi, Jesus. Hi, God. Hi, Spirit. Thank you for being with us on this beautiful sunshine day. I chose a reading today from Isaiah, and I hope it fits with our guest as well as from my heart and your heart. Isaiah 25, 6-9. On this mountain, the Lord of hosts will provide for all peoples a feast of rich food and choice wines, juicy, rich food and pure choice wines. On this mountain, God will destroy the veil that veils all peoples, the web that is woven over all nations. Our higher power will destroy death forever. The Lord God will wipe away the tears from all faces. The reproach of his people he will remove from the whole earth. For the Lord has spoken. On that day it will be said, indeed, this is our universal higher power God. We looked to him and he saved us. This is the Lord to whom we looked. Let us rejoice and be glad that he is here for us. Amen. When I read that this morning, my heart just leapt out of my skin, knowing that the guest today, my dear friend Michael, and his talents and gifts, his belief in miracles, will highlight your day. I felt from my heart that our Lord God does take away all those tears, that we do have a spiritual connection, that the veil between heaven and earth is real, that we are heavenly beings and we are earthly beings all at the same time. For many of you, that may sound crazy, but I believe it's so true. When my honey Carol died 3 years ago, I really witnessed the miracles and the life of heavenliness as she passed. And ever since then, I have also witnessed the miracles of her being alive right here on earth. I have felt her. I have touched her. I have talked to her. I have listened to her voice. I hope these golden nuggets help you to believe that we are spiritual beings. So without any further ado, I am so excited. I mean, literally so excited to introduce to you my friend, my contributing writer in Healing Religious Hurts, Michael Hensley. Michael, thank you for being here. Your eyes are sparkling. Your face is just vibrant and glowing. I just thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're a dear friend to me, too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Right on. Well, Michael and I have discussed, and he wanted to call his topic Believing in Miracles. So to be bold and bright like you are, Michael, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about you, because I bet you that's going to lead into believing in miracles.
Okay. Thank you, Joanie.
Yes.
I'm going to say, Joanie and I first met at an LGBTQ plus Pride event. I said, then at a skating rink where the love of Joanie's life, Carol, came through. I am a gay man who lives with my partner, Richard, of 25 years. I'm spiritual with gifts granted me by our Creator and all the good energies above us, around us, within us, and with the love of Jesus. I guess you'd call me a seer.
Okay. Is there another name for that as well? A mediator?
Or some people say medium, but I don't use it so much because still a lot of people want to put a stigma that it can go to the dark also.
Right.
And I believe that I go through angels and light.
Oh, beautiful. Tell us more.
Oh, okay. So about when I do help people?
Yes. Tell us about how you experience this.
When I do help people, I start a lot of times, if something starts coming through in a group and everything, I can start seeing beautiful colored sparkled lights. And sometimes I can see colors starting almost like in the old Star Wars movies, the beginning, where you see, when it started at the very beginning, you see something like stars, like they're flying in the space something, and they're coming to you larger. That's how I see that. And sometimes I see beautiful colors like purple, small, and then it expands big. Wow. And then I've had times that I hear what I believe is like angels singing and all. And sometimes I can see like clouds parting with hands coming through and everything. So it's different things. And then I always get this different feeling between my elbow and my wrist. It starts quivering when I start knowing more things to tell someone that has been granted from our Creator for me to share with the loved one here on earth.
That is beautiful. And I've known Michael for a while, and I know he's not on any drugs. He's not on caffeine.
Right.
He takes a great big healthy aspect of his life with what you eat and what you think and what you believe. And so this gift, has it always been a part of you?
When I was little, I would only know a few little things here or there. But like my mom's aunt that was very gifted, she could even tell people word for word what they were thinking and knew things ahead, just like my mom's mom could do. I say mom's mom because she had passed before I was born, and I would be the first grandchild. Mm-hmm. So I honor her, know she's a grandmother, but I didn't meet her and stuff. But I just drew a blank.
That's okay. It's okay. So that intuition that you just know.
Right, know things. And like the aunt had touched my head when I was little and told my mom I would be gifted, but it'd be very late in life. Oh. And for me, it was around 50 before I started really opening up and started knowing things.
To believe.
Right.
To believe that this was a gift and to how to use it.
And for it to really amplify things happening and knowing things much more.
Okay. Can you take us back to maybe the very first time, you're talking about you're 50 years old, first time of having this gift come to life?
Well, when the early things and all was, I just meditated and all, because I believe in meditation strongly and stuff. I'd come out and I just looked in a mirror and I saw colors, 3 different colors come off of me looking in the mirror and all, which was beautiful. and all. And I told my partner, Richard, says, our neighbors, she's going to come over across the street. I just saw a vision. She's going to be wearing like cut off jeans, made it look more like hot pants, and then a certain color blouse. And she's going to have a paper for me to look at. And so within minutes, got a knock on the door. Here she came over. She had the same type clothing I said, the same color I had said, and everything. But she didn't have the paper. So we talked a little bit, and I said, well, didn't you have a paper you wanted me to read? She goes, oh my God, I forgot the paper. Yes, I was coming over for you to read this paper. So that was one of the earlier things, but then just knowing different stuff before someone's going to call and all. And then later on, when I started getting messages where I started telling people, is that even if you love someone that's in a coma or has Alzheimer's, please still tell them about your day, tell them how much you love them, because I have been a couple times been able to relay messages to the living person what they had told the person that ended up passing away that had these medical problems and all. I relayed the message, what they had told them, and what the living person had told the other person. They carried it to heaven or the other side. Wow. I said, so it's very important still, no matter what other people tell you, let them know you love them. Please. Love is powerful.
Oh, totally, totally. And that's why I think I read that scripture today about the veil between heaven and earth. That veil. And for you, there is no veil.
Right.
There is no veil.
Right.
So what else is your heart and mind telling you to tell us today, Michael?
Let's see. So, like, why am I here and different things?
That'd be great.
Okay. To let LGBTQ plus and all others that feel shunned by church or its followers and all, and those that just don't go to church, know that if you're a kind, loving person, our Creator loves you. And to believe in miracles, as I have experienced without going to church. I have found, if you have found a church that accepts you for who you are, what you believe, what you look like, and who you love, that I am very happy for you, and I praise that church.
Wow. That's Joyously Free.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That's the title of my second book, my third book, because you're in it, is Healing Religious Hurts.
Right.
But, when you figure all that out, that is Joyously Free. Keep going.
Yeah. And like some of the joyously free moments in my life are like, too, when the LGBTQ plus people, when we got our rights not to be arrested for showing affection in a bar or public, along with many more rights in general. Mm-hmm. And another joyously free thing for me is when I met you, Joanie, and when you and Elizabeth both accepted my experiences of my gift as good enough to be in the book Healing Religious Hurts. Oh. That the Pope at the Vatican has accepted and read.
Yes.
That to me is amazing, amazing, incredible. Joanie, you are filled with so much love, and you have no fear of sharing it everywhere, no matter what. No matter what comes at you, you still are filled with love and still willing to try to bring that person to love. Uh-huh. And like I said, you and Elizabeth Ann have been wonderful towards me and with me. So I praise both of you. Thank you so much for being in my life and knowing that I do go through light, not to the dark.
Thank you so much, Michael. And you are just a joy, and you have a gift to share. And I know you've actually had some experiences with me that you have seen. Do you want to talk about any of that?
Yes. Now, if you can share part of it, because when I help somebody, I don't remember all of it.
Okay.
And all.
Okay.
But I know is when my partner Rich and I had been invited to go over to your house. We sat at your house, and before that, I'd already told you the color purple was the favorite color of yours, love of your life. Carol,
yes.
And everything. So
yeah, and I had never told that to you before.
Right.
You had no idea about the color purple.
Right.
And so, of course, when you arrived and you said that, it's like, oh, I'm excited to see the purple living room.
Right.
We have a purple wall in there.
Right.
There's also a prayer corner with a chair. And I remember you came in and you looked around and you were feeling all kinds of things. I could just tell by looking at you. You were in a different trance, and you walked directly over to my prayer corner. You touched my prayer chair, and you sat in it.
Right.
What did you feel?
When I sat in all at once, I felt this incredible love, and I started feeling as if I was Carol. Her energy was so strong coming through. Mm-hmm. And just looking out the window and then seeing the rose bushes now that she is so thankful for, and everything, the beauty that you're carrying on in honor of her name and her love and everything. And I started getting messages and hearing music And one of the things was coming through a song and everything. She said that, could I have this dance for the rest of my life? And I said, she was letting me know, said, that's very important to the two of you.
Yes.
And everything, was different little things. And like I said, if you can feel part of it, I'd always remember all of it. But I know I was getting this feeling like to actually ask you to dance. And I in my mind was inviting her temporarily to come into me and to be so that you could be dancing with Carol instead of me.
Right. It blew me away. It blew me away. First off, that you knew that was one of our favorite songs. And that's something we didn't tell everybody, but that was our living room dance song, basically. And we would just dance away in the living room. And then when you offered, I will be Carol right now. And then when you danced with me, Michael, you held me and you did moves that only Carol would know with me for the dance. It just blew me away. I remember crying. I'm going to get emotional now. I remember crying, going, how could this be happening? But yes, it could be happening. It was so beautiful. And there are many, many things. And I know you don't just do this for me, but anyway, it felt like that movie, Ghost, and it's like, this was so real, so amazing. And again, there was no veil. But I know you've helped so many other people. You've had an incident in your family lately about your young 17-year-old nephew.
Right.
Are you up to sharing some of that? I just think that's so heart-filled.
So the young man and all, he was very healthy to our knowledge and everything. Well, I'll tell you about him first. Okay. That he had been studying for years. He was actually reading like 4 or 5 different Bibles, different versions from different, forms of Christianity.
Okay.
Because the different ones have a little bit different in the Bible, some of the things. And he was also studying Hindu and everything. And he was finding, I says, Uncle Micah says, I now know, I used to be only thinking it had to be Christian, but I said, I now know even Hindus and different versions. I said, if they're kind, loving people, they too do have a wonderful place on the other side or heaven when they pass.
Wow.
And all. So anyway, he was also gifted. He was psychic, and he was very spiritual. And we had different talks. And he had just, I guess, a week to 2 weeks before he passed, he had told my brother, his father, and his stepbrother, everything, that maybe even my brother's wife, I'm not sure on that, but that he was no longer afraid to die, and that he knew his time on earth was ending, and he had done what he was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then he passed within the week to 2 weeks, a healthy young man of a massive seizure. And they could not find anything wrong with him when they checked afterwards. And also, so he's on the other side of heaven now and all. And hopefully he's going to be one of my spiritual guides.
Wow.
And also,
he knew.
He knew.
He knew. He was being called, and
right.
he knew, believed, and accepted that as a miracle. He just knew he was at peace with that.
Right.
That is so beautiful.
Right.
Did he tell his dad of this, that he knew that this was going to be happening?
Yes, to my knowledge, it was his stepbrother, dad, and I'm guessing that my brother's wife,
right.
because they're all together in a family unit.
Right. So how did his dad, your brother, respond when?
Well, I guess they didn't, thinking he's just talking,
okay.
that he was ready whenever that happened.
Okay.
But it was just, weren't expecting it to be right away and stuff. So anyway, and then my brother's taking it extremely hard because they were super close. And he calls me daily. Have you heard anything? Can you tell me anything from heaven, from my son? And so it's...
And have you?
I've had different messages. Now that he doesn't want me to share anywhere.
Exactly. That's personal and private.
On that. But
absolutely.
Yes, I've been able to different times to try to give him an uplifting feeling and messages. So
right on. And what I'm so awed with, and it's an awe of just God and holiness, is that you communicate with living and deceased.
Right.
And so a person, it's just both living and deceased.
Right.
Is that a different tingling sensation? Is that a different kind of thing that happens, or does it all come at once? Or
I still get the same tingling whichever way, because sometimes I have messages for a living person, like I said, from the one that passed, or
right.
Just different things like that. And just like the miracle, I'll bring up a miracle that I was told was a miracle. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was with my partner, Richard. Like I said, we've been together 25 years now. In 2015, he had had a heart attack and 2 cardiac arrests on the same day.
Ooh.
I was with him through all of it. And on the second cardiac arrest, they worked on him a really long time. And on the main one finally goes, it's no longer working. It's time to call the time of his passing. So they're looking at his watch and they're writing down the time. At that time, I fell to the ground on my knees and I put my arms up spread and I said, with everything within me, I offer myself in place of my partner. Wow. Please, because he needs more time to know of love and angels. I said, but if he comes back and I get to live, I will use my gift you have granted me to help people. And with this, I have validation that this comes from you, from the light, not what a lot of biased people want to say, that it's dark pretending to be good. I said, I know it's from God. And he came back. Wow. I'm still here, and we're still together. So, and that they said at the hospital, we have just witnessed a miracle.
Awesome. Awesome.
And if there's time for a second miracle, as I said, believe in miracles, is with my, this has to do with my relatives in Texas. And with my one cousin, I don't have her permission now, so I won't say the names now. But I had told her, I called her, I was able to tell her a lot of things with my gift. And I called her and I said, oh my God. I said, are you at the hospital now where your brother's at? Because I told her about the brother and this was going to happen. But anyway, she said, yes, I'm here, but I've been in the lobby for about an hour on my phone. I said, can you walk into the room where your brother's at as we're talking? Because I said, I just got done meditating. I heard your mother's voice and all with hearing angels singing. And she says, please thank the man of God first, church second, pure of heart, that's leaning over my son now because he's coming home within an hour. And she walked in there and her living brother was standing next to the one that was not well. And she asked him, said, was there a religious person here? He said, he just left. And she goes, was he leaning over? I said, he was leaning completely over our brother. I says, and then he passed within an hour. Wow. So the chaplain said, we witnessed a miracle from someone that doesn't go to church, but is a strong believer. Wow. So this is my thing, to believe in miracles.
Yes, yes. And I bet you there are listeners out there right now that maybe have had miracles happen in their life.
Right.
And or they just believe in miracles.
Right.
Fabulous. Have you ever met somebody that has shared their similar gift, just like yours, a seer or a medium?
Yes. Different categories. To me, there's different categories of being either a medium, seer, psychic, and everything. Or we may get it differently.
Okay.
And stuff, but I have. And all. There's a close friend and her daughter and stuff that, yes, and all. But I'm not mentioning names without getting their permission. But yes, and it's real exciting.
How do you feel about that, knowing that this other person is also a medium or a seer?
I'm very happy for them. I just hope they can be protected and no harm comes to them with them while they're trying to help people. Because not everyone accepts it and all. So, but it's, like I said, I'm very happy for them, and I just hope they always go to the light.
Right. And I imagine that there are people that don't want to hear about a miracle, don't believe in it, don't believe in your gift.
Right.
And have you had people that have been negative with you about that?
Yes, different ones, and it hurts. It hurts a lot because when I'm trying to help, and I said, I don't do evil. I don't watch a scary movie. I didn't accept a job. I was being proposed in 2015 to work on a show. There's going to be on national TV. It wouldn't have been my show, but I would have been the so-called medium on the show, on every episode. And I went home first, and I'm so excited till my partner Richard is, oh my God, I'll be on this new show on national cable. And I said, I'll be paid, I'll be on every episode. And I said, but I've got to pray and find out if I should do this. Now, I sat down, I prayed in my mind, I'm asking God, our creator, because I usually say creator, but still God. And I said that, please give me a sign if I can accept this or if I should not. And unwillingly, within 3 seconds afterwards, I said, soon evil will follow me home. And so I got my sign from God. It was uncontrollable. I had no say what that just came out.
Wow.
So that let me know not to take it as much as I liked it, but yet to help people, and I do it, and I don't ask for money.
Right.
And I've helped hundreds and hundreds, I think about 1,000 now, and I'm not kidding, but it's been so many through the years, and sometimes 5 and a day. One day it was 10 people just weeks ago, in one day. So again, I don't ask for money because I know it's a gift that can be taken away from me at any time.
You know, I just keep saying wow a lot because I've never really met somebody with the gift that you have. Carol had a gift of intuition, and she could foresee things as well.
Right, different versions of the gifts.
Different versions. And we all have different gifts. We all have different gifts.
Right.
And that's the cool thing, if we can celebrate those gifts in everybody. And I think when you do find your gifts that you can celebrate, that's to me a real joyously free moment and an experience, and that's the way you live, and that's where love exudes from.
Right. How powerful love is. And like you said, everyone has gifts, and I hope that you're able to use your gifts and all that have been granted you. And some have gift of love, friendship,
Keep going.
and all. And also,
Well, do you have anything that's on your heart or mind that's wanting to be shared? We're down to about 2 minutes, Michael.
oh, sure. To know that if you're a kind, loving person, you will have a wonderful place on the other side, or heaven. When you pass, you're going home. I said, and believe in miracles. Love is powerful. Please listen to Joanie's audiobook, None Better, an amazing love story. I'm sorry, I'm plugging it for you, Joanie. I have to because you're so incredible to me. And thank you to Mike on the soundboard. Thank you all for all your contributions.
Oh my gosh, that's
Send you love. May love and angels, healers, protectors, and the love of Jesus be with all of you always.
Let's do that one more time so the listeners hear that. Will love and angels.
Yes. May love and angels, healers, protectors, and the love of Jesus be with you always.
Oh my gosh, I hope you got that, everybody out there, because, you know, whether you're with a person or in spirit, mind, and heart, you are blessed with light. You are blessed with joy and love. And Michael has just been absolutely phenomenal. It takes guts to come onto a radio show to share a gift like this because it's not well talked about.
Right.
Sometimes it's portrayed in a different light. And so I thank you from the top of my heart and the bottom of my heart to really, really make it happen today on the radio station. So we also thank all the listeners that just tuned in. May your hopes and joys be alive and well based upon what Michael said today. And let's also share and say thank you to Tom Bozak, Mike Gorse, Candace, and Rose. Let's leave you with a beautiful saying that we say every single week, which is smile big and wear bright colors. You are blessed and highly favored. Happy day, everybody.
Happy day. Thank you, Joanie.
Thank you, Mike.
You are loved in heaven and on earth.
Thank you.